Pagitt Radio.
Woo!
Final segment of our dinner hour.
Yes.
If you don't know, we're now referring to the first hour as the cocktail party.
Yeah, that's right.
Around here, because it was started in 1917 by a woman in St. Louis who wanted to have a little party before the Sunday meal.
Yep.
So hour one, cocktail party. Hour two, the Sunday meal. Where we do the right on, where we have a segment where we give a shout out to people who are doing the things that are good, the things that are right, the things that are the way the world ought to be, where people rise above the things that make them say, cripes, come on, you've got to be kidding me. Where we
Gonna rise above
the problems, where we rise above that which brings us to our knees and we stand again.
We stand.
And we stand tall. Walking tall.
Walking tall.
Remember that movie from the 70s?
Oh, man. Guy scared the crap out of me.
Oh, me too. That's interesting.
Purvis?
We've never talked about this. Yeah.
Oh.
And he carried that bat.
Joe Don Baker.
Oh, yeah. He carried that bat. There was this whole genre of movies of standing tall and Billy Jack and like these men in the 70s that were going to fight back against the system with their hands and with their bats. And boy, that really shaped me. It really formed me. And when I got into Christian stuff in the early 80s, you know, coming through a childhood of that stuff, it really was a contrast to think that maybe the one who was the savior in the Christian narrative wasn't one who was fighting with fists and feet, but with goodness and love and care. Yeah, see, and that's the problem is that you sort of get, you know, those guys were cool.
Yeah.
Jesus was kind of a softy. Yeah, he took it. He took it on the tree rather than, you know, bringing him a piece of the tree, that kind of thing.
Well, I remember he'll get him in the end, Doug.
Yeah, and then people come up with that narrative, don't they? Then they come up with the narrative that someday people are going to get him back. But around here, we like to do the right on, where people are going to be doing the right thing, where they're standing tall.
Yes.
Without a bat in their hand. I guess the contrast is more. There were three movies from my childhood that stick in my brain. Walking Tall.
Yes.
Did scare me.
Yeah.
Billy Jack, that inspired me. And Born Free, that just utterly confused me.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I cried every time I watched that.
Did you really?
Little lying cubs.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, see, that's why I appreciate the show on before ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pet people?
Yeah, because I'm not a pet appreciator enough.
Yeah, you're not.
See, Born Free. Yeah, confused me.
Yeah.
People all talked about it and loved it and everything. I didn't really get it. Well, we do a right on segment around here where we encourage people who are doing those things that are good and those things that are right. Now, you might know that in Minnesota as well as Missouri, there were big tornadoes a couple of weeks ago. And they were a real problem. Well, in Minnesota, there were so many volunteers that they had to plan a day and turn people away.
Yeah,
and turn people away. Now, you could think that what's sort of a classic, it's an easy pickup to give the right on. And some people were saying, oh, just give it off to the volunteers. Kind of do that. Then I had some other suggestions this week. You know what suggestion I had from somebody?
What's that, Douglas?
Well, I was chatting with a gal at the garage sale, and she said, hey, you were at our church. You did a sermon a couple of months ago. Some of you might remember I had to rush in here in a fancy suit. Told you that I was over at church in the wintertime. Had to get myself over here back when the when the weather was dangerous outside.
And you were looking good.
Yeah, and I ran into this gal who was there, an older gal. She'd been a member at the church for 50, 60 years, something like that. So she was well versed in this thing we call life. Yeah. And she said to me, hey, you preached at my church a couple of months ago. And I said,
cool.
yeah, I did. And she said, oh, I remember. Yeah, frankly, I was a little disappointed. And some people said, she should get the right on your show for telling you that. And I thought, well, I don't know. I just think that's kind of just
that's rude.
Limited social abilities right there. I don't think we give right ons to people with limited social abilities. But anyway, so she could get the right on.